Hey everybody, Kelly Orchard here with Mustang Monday once again with my friend Kirk Effinger from Windemere Real Estate, right?
Homes and Estates. Windemere Homes and Estates.
See, that's why I have them say it so that I don't butcher the name of their business. So now Kirk is in my Rotary Club and I just basically, it's like you guys are fish in a barrel. I said, hey, what are you doing after a meeting today? Are you ready to hop in the car with me? And you graciously, he said yes. So we were just chatting about something that he would like to share. If somebody was to ask you for some professional advice, Kirk, what would you say? And I think this is really good because...
Well, I mean, that's just it. It's professional advice. Many people don't understand or don't appreciate the amount of work and professional integrity that it takes to be a real estate professional and the things that we do in the industry.
Yeah.
A big part of our job is protecting people from the pitfalls of a complex transaction. It's one of the most complex financial transactions that most people will ever get involved in.
Don't I know it?
And all you have to do is look at the amount of paperwork that people have to sign.
Yeah.
And the various disclosures that people have to go through, none of which most people come in contact with until they buy that home. And so when you look for a property on Zillow or Redfin or one of these other sites and assume that that's all we do as agents is locate a properry and
here you go and show it to
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just the tip of the iceberg. We carry insurance to make sure that people are covered, both ourselves and our clients when we represent them, in case of any kind of bad stuff happening. And we lend our expertise to making sure that people are making the right decision for their...
Well, and I'm glad we're talking about this today because, of course, my program or my brand right now is licensed to be badass, and an emphasis on the licensed. And, and that's pretty much where it came from, was the origin for me was that, I looked at the things that I've done professionally in my career. And the first thing was, it was a broadcast license, a radio station license. And then we had to maintain the license. And I've been consulting for broadcasters to maintain their license. And then as a therapist, I have a license. So realizing, that license is kind of important, kind of critical. And that's transitioning or translating into what you do. It's like he's a licensed professional with what he does. There's a big, huge difference between the Ubers of real estate, basically, right? Wouldn't you call that as kind of like an Uber of real estate in a way? Out of it, I haven't gone on any of those apps. I would never think to buy a home from an app.
Yeah, and to be fair, those apps have a purpose. They have helped people narrow down what their choices are for buying a home. But it's first of all, you can't judge a home just by pictures on the internet.
Yeah.
You need to be able to see it, touch it, feel it, know the neighborhood.
It's kind of like dating. You can't pick a husband or a wife by looking at a picture. Well, some people do.
Maybe. Yeah.
But they buy houses that way too. Well, the thing is, it's kind of the same. It's like you're making a huge investment one way or another. Shouldn't you check it out?
Yes. Exactly.
And have a licensed person, work on it with you.
Absolutely, and and licensed, and I'll add one other layer, and that is there are real estate agents who are not realtors. Okay, if someone says they're a realtor, they belong to the National Association of Realtors, and we have our own standard of ethics and what have you, so that we operate at an even higher level than what necessarily the licensing agencies require, which is also important.
Yeah,
people assume that everybody who has a license is a realtor, and that's not always the case.
That's a really good tip. Okay, so if you're not a realtor, then you're one rung underneath, right? You are a licensee in the state of California. You're a licensed real estate agent,
right?
But you're not a realtor.
Exactly. So would be required to meet certain standards to maintain your license. Realtors have another step above that in terms of code of ethics and so forth.
So I think that here's a really, really interesting, concept that we're talking about by, talking about, the difference between, the professionalism and the education and the information and the knowledge that you possess because of all of the requirements that you have to do in order to have this license, right?
Yeah.
And even be the membership. So doesn't it make sense that no matter what you do, no matter what kind of business you're trying to do with somebody, doesn't it make more sense to go with somebody who has that special training and licensing? And we can talk about a mechanic, we can talk about a therapist or a coach, or even a doctor. Would you go to somebody who just went to medical school, or would you want them to be a legitimate licensed physician?
Or maybe never went to medical school.
Right, exactly. I mean, there's so I like that your tip was, it's like whenever you're making some significant decision in your life, hire a professional.
Absolutely.
And make sure they're licensed.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it seems really logical that's the advice that we'd be having, but clearly that's not what people do often.
Yeah, and some of that is people think that they can save money when in fact, more often than not, the cost to them can be dramatically greater if they don't use a professional.
Right. In just about every aspect. I know that, like, I use my Mustang a lot as a metaphor for things that could go wrong, and so, but if I took this vehicle to somebody who didn't know anything about Mustangs, wasn't really a mechanic, and I could probably change the the belts and hoses and the fluids in your car. I'll do it for $20, and then you find out that they didn't really put oil in the car, or they didn't know what they were doing, and then I have a blown up engine.
Exactly.
And it would have cost me more than if I would have gone to a professional. I mean, I know that that's really simplified. I'm sure that you in your profession, because you said, we were talking earlier, he's been in real estate all his life. Just about, second generation realtor. So that's huge. And so what you're doing. It's like you were even saying, it's like you have been probably in every single aspect of the housing real estate industry except escrow, you said.
Except escrow.
So it's like, for somebody who wants to acquire a home, you might be like the one person they should go talk to.
I would
be one of the many thousands.
Encourage people to come and talk to me.
And see you and go through professionals.
Sure, absolutely. And if but definitely go through a professional, no matter who that person is. Part of it also is being comfortable with that person.
Yes, relationships are definitely key. You have to establish relationships with people, and so yes, it's even in psychotherapy. It's like if I need to establish a relationship with somebody, and you need to be comfortable with whether it's a coach or a dentist or a doctor or a real estate agent. It's like it's the relationship that you develop.
Yeah, are you comfortable with the advice that they give? And do they follow through? And do what they're supposed to do. Help.
Yeah. Well, Kirk, thank you so much for jumping in the car with me and hopping in the seat to give a badass tip from the street.
You're welcome.
That's a little thing. Now, we have a little phrase that we say, and I know I keep saying I'm going to put it up on my dash, but I kind of like it this way. I said, repeat after me, all right? So, hi, I'm Kelly Orchard, reminding you to be bold. Say it.
Be bold.
You don't have to say my name.
Okay.
Be brave.
Be brave.
Be confident.
Be confident.
Be badass.
Be badass.